Tech bros who got a lot of enjoyment out of seeing people fail to invert a binary tree are going to be really bothered to see that Jessica in accounting can write an application end to end using AI. And that makes me kind of happy. Hi everyone, I'm back to give you an update on my job hunt journey. It's been about 8 months. I'll be walking you through my experiences, changes that I've been seeing externally and internally, and I'll also be bringing some motivation and inspiration if you're on the same boat and you're looking for something positive to hold on to. I'll be bringing that as well. So let's go. First, I want to acknowledge that it's been rough. I've submitted over 100 applications, gotten 15 callbacks that have gone beyond the recruiter stage, and no offers. Most recently, I went as far as being told that I had made it to the final round, and then the recruiter getting back to me and saying, just kidding, the interviewer isn't available and we're moving forward with another candidate. And that sucked. Companies are being very specific about what they're looking for in a candidate, and they're recruiting for whoever comes closest to that perfect model of an employee as possible. They're looking for unicorns, and honestly, I'm a unicorn, but not in the shape and size that they're looking for. I've always struggled with people's subconscious biases. I'm a very unique individual and people struggle to put a label on me and understand me. I'm unfamiliar and that can be unsettling to some, and it can be seen as a risk to others. Through my career, I've constantly gotten comments like, wow, you've really grown professionally, or things like, you know, I didn't know about you when I met you, but you're really growing on me. And while I have really grown professionally since I started, I can visibly see the evolution. As far as people's perception, they don't quite understand me, and it takes them a while to get to know me and really understand what value I bring to the table. And this is why the traditional process where I get to meet a single person one single time and try to earn their trust within a single session, that flow is a really steep climb for me. Needless to say, it's been an emotional roller coaster. I'm realizing that my career was a lot more tied to my identity than I thought it was. I had some brutal days where I felt like a huge part of me was dead and I couldn't access it at all. As someone who's always been a high performer professionally, it's really hard for me to watch that part of me be non-existent. And yes, I've been grateful for the very privileged position that I'm in, to be able to be financially stable and spend time with my kids, have time for myself, for leisure. I still feel like that transition, that shift is really painful regardless. And I'm not gonna force myself to have toxic gratitude. I'm going to have a lot of grace for myself and not judge myself for feeling uncomfortable about the position I'm in right now. As far as how I'm spending my time, I definitely have slowed down on my game dev process and video production because I entered some interview processes that did progress a lot more and required a lot of my time. And I also started a course called AI with Azure, and I've taken some AI classes as well as Python, and it's been really exciting to me. I'm really enjoying being hands-on again. So let's talk about some changes I'm observing externally, meaning outside of myself. I feel like we're on the cusp of a major shift. I'm seeing a lot of really good talent out of work right now, and I feel like the walls are closing in on tech. Maybe it's lack of funding for companies that aren't truly AI companies. It feels like the tech industry is not as generous as it once was. Now, I have an extreme example here, but bear with me. The shifts I'm seeing in tech are feeling a lot like coal mining in the 20th century. And I'm approaching this with the most care possible, and I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen. But in the 20th century, the coal mining industry brought a lot of American families a lot of financial gain, abundance, and stability. And as cleaner alternatives came around and automation eliminated the need for a large workforce, the industry declined. And the people who didn't have the tools to adapt or couldn't adapt were hit the hardest. Now, I'm not saying that the software industry is going to suffer the same fate, but it does feel really familiar based on what I'm seeing. I've also heard people compare this dip to the early 2000s .com bubble burst. And I like that idea because it suggests that there's a bounce back on the horizon. But what I'm seeing here looks like a 1-2 punch where investors are taking less risk in traditional software and AI is eliminating the need for a workforce as large as we were seeing before. I think it's in our best interest to expect these changes and prepare to adapt to them. On the positive side, I think this new season will democratize innovation. It's going to be less and less about who can hire the best developers and more purely about who has the best ideas and can ask the right questions and more creatively solve problems. Tech bros who got a lot of enjoyment out of seeing people fail to invert a binary tree are going to be really bothered to see that Jessica in accounting can write an application end to end using AI. And that makes me kind of happy. And then there are inner changes I've been going through. When I started this layoff journey, I was convinced that there was a karmic lesson to be learned in releasing, letting go, and surrendering. I went as far as contemplating leaving the tech industry completely. But what I found through this journey is that I need to fight. Through this process, I'm learning exactly what it is that attracted me to the tech industry. See, during my final months of employment, I had fallen stagnant and stuck in routines and not being utilized to my fullest potential. Now that I'm free to work on my own projects through game development and taking this AI course, I'm really understanding what attracted me to tech in the first place. That love for creating and innovation and invention. I'm on this path to understanding who I am and what I really want to do. I'm also really trying to understand the difference between human essence and social adaptation. I feel like I had been stuck in this loop where I equated success to external feedback so much that I had been convinced that what made me me were the experiences that I had lived through and the influences that other people had had on me. But through this process, I'm understanding that there are certain things that are actually innate to myself, and it's really deepening my appreciation for authenticity. Now, intuitively, bells are ringing in my head, and I'm fairly certain that what has brought me this far might not be necessarily what takes me the rest of the way. But I'm also clearer than ever that I'll be taking my inventive and innovative spirit, problem solving, creativity, and urge to create new things to the next era. While I have this inner knowing that things are changing more than ever, I also have the certainty that things are gonna work out. And logically, that's delusional. I feel like last year, if I had this lack of good external feedback, my faith would have been dead. But I think what this process has been doing is holding a mirror in front of me and showing me my true self beyond what people see in me. So again, I'm not sure what's ahead for me or the tech industry, but I feel like I'm being molded and primed to deal with it and thrive. If you haven't caught on yet, I'm the kind of person who believes that experiences teach us lessons as we progress through life. And I want to tell you about a couple of synchronicities that have flipped switches in my head and helped me understand why things are happening to me. The first one is an experience where I was talking to an old coworker, and they were asking me about if I was worried about financial stability, not having an income on the horizon. And I explained to them that I had been really fortunate so far. Even though I came from nothing, I had gotten in tech really early on in my life and been able to store away a good bit of an emergency fund. I had been in the right place at the right time and made some lucky investments, gotten into the real estate market at good times, as well as gotten really taken care of by severance and benefited from acquisitions. And at the end of that, he said, "Oh, so you have a sugar daddy," and that was his takeaway. And that really hit me. And I don't think he did it maliciously. He was just trying to understand from his point of view how it is that I was able to get where I am now. So I tried to brush it off, and I definitely didn't fault him for it. But that stuck with me because I've taken a lot of pride in being that independent woman, that boss, that person who doesn't need anybody for her financial, professional success. And that bothered me. And then not more than a couple of days later, I was scrolling through Instagram, and this creator, Jules Guerin, she's here on YouTube too, she posted this phrase, "The universe is my sugar daddy." And, you know, in the caption, she was talking about how we should adopt this mindset of not worrying about where our next abundance is going to come from, where provision is going to come from, because the universe is on our side. And that really resonated with me. First of all, it was a slap in the face saying, it hasn't been all you. Yes, I have met the universe halfway and done my part, but it's been a co-creation. But it was also a very comforting message that I have the universe on my side, and there's no debt to pay there. There's no reclaiming of power. All I have to do is show up as myself and make a good impact in the world and put out positive vibes, and things will work out for me if I have trust. Another experience was when I had just finished a few interview cycles. I had like 3 different opportunities lined up and they all fell through. And I was feeling really defeated. And then, within the same week, I was again scrolling through Instagram, and this creator, her handle is Chelsea Explains. She posted a reel that walked through this epiphany she had. And she talked about how sometimes we have this dream that we need to go to the bathroom, and we're trying really hard to go and we can't. Maybe the door is locked, or we can't find it, or we go and we're just unable to. And then we wake up and we say, wow, I'm glad I didn't go, because that would not have been good for me. And then you proceed to being awake and doing your thing. But she equated that to real life situations where we could be trying to succeed in a certain direction, and it's just not working out. And maybe that means that there's somebody up there in your subconscious guiding you through this. Could be the universe, your higher self, whatever it is that you want to call it, is guiding you, making sure that you don't go down a path that's not going to be beneficial for you, that's not taking you where you need to go. So I think that was comforting to me, where it took a little bit of the pressure off, and help me hope that if I haven't had success this far, it's because it truly wasn't meant to be, and there's a alternative path. There are lessons that I have to learn, or something better out there for me. It helped me calm my anxieties a little bit. Well, I hope this has inspired you and helped you figure out how to navigate the current corporate environment. Leave a comment below if you're currently experiencing a period of unemployment, how long it's been, what your experiences are. I'd love to learn more about how others are dealing with this. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe. It costs nothing to you and it's greatly appreciated by me. Follow me along as I figure it all out on this journey. I'll see you soon.